In the 1970s, the Watergate, it was a political scandal. Uh, and President Nixon was found to have a lot of corrupt things going on in the government. After that scandal, how do you feel about the United States government?
I felt like during that time there was no trust because there was so many things that came out of that scandal with them being able to. I think they impeached President Nixon
Mm-hmm.
and they had a trial, and I think it was just so many corrupt things that came out. So much came out of it. That was where they were hiding evidence and the tapes and everything like this here and
Yeah.
all that. You know, I felt like we can't trust the president and he the the head of the country. Then who?
That's okay. On March 31st, 1980, Ronald Reagan was shot by John Hinckley while having a aid speaking engagement at the Washington Hilton Hotel in Washington, D.C. The motive of the shooting was for actress Jodie Foster to favor Mr. John Hinckley. How do you think our nation would have reacted to another assassination and Mr. Hinckley attempt turned fatal?
Well, in my opinion, I was not a favorite of Ronald Reagan. He's anti-union. He broke up the unions and stuff like that. And I'm a union official, or associated official of iron workers local, and he wasn't favorable to me at all. I'm not saying that I would be sad or nothing like that. I feel for him and his family and all that. So, I think we would have just kept moving forward.
Okay. Mr. Reagan left out on a bad note, was like one of the most hated presidents. Do you think he deserved that type of judgment?
No, no. He done the best he could. He done the best what he had to work with.
Okay. Thanks for your time, sir. In December of 1998, President Clinton was under charges of lying under oath and obstruction of justice, then impeached when an affair with him and an intern, Monica Lewinsky, was leaked out to the public. Did you lose any trust with the man you voted for in office? If so, why?
Not at all. I feel what you do in your personal life, as long as it doesn't affect how you run the country, I didn't have an issue with it. To be quite honest, 90% of the politicians in Washington have affairs anyway. So as long as it doesn't affect your job, which in my opinion it did not, he was a very great president.
Productive.
So very productive and got things done, and I was satisfied with that. So no, it did not weigh my decision one way or the other.
January 20th, 2009, President Barack Obama was sworn into office as the first African American president after defeating John McCain. It moved the African American population in a strong way to see the first black president. Seeing how much we've been through as people, how did it move you to see the first black man in office?
Wow. Where do I begin? When it actually happened, I mean, I literally just cried because I just remember stories that my grandmother told me in her generation that it was just unheard of. I just wish she would have been here to see that along with my father. But it was overwhelming. I think most of us that when it was announced just bust out in tears because even though we weren't involved with segregation, we've known of it and we've all been subject to prejudice. I mean, personally myself.
Even today.
So,
Even today.
or even today, but more so, when I was a teenager, it's not as prevalent now. But getting back to Barack Obama, it was just I don't even know how to describe it. It was just an awesome feeling.
It's a real feeling.
Yeah, it was a real awesome feeling. And the first thing I could think of was my grandmother and my dad because they would never have believed that. And then, for him to last in 8 years, just awesome. Just totally awesome.
The serial killer Ted Bundy, he killed women from 1974, February 1974 to 1978. Uh, as a woman, what was your feelings about the killing spree? And did you feel safe at the time?
No, I didn't feel safe at all. I was actually horrified because during that time I was in high school. You know, I was afraid to really go anywhere by myself. And I remember I was working a job during that particular time where I had to get off the bus. We didn't have bus service to go in front of my parents' house, so I had to actually walk almost maybe a half a mile, a little more, from the bus stop at nighttime, getting off work at night just to get home. And I would walk in the middle of the median, so I was very afraid, you know.
Were you more alert in society after that?
I think I was alert. I didn't go out alone. I was always with someone, and I always watch my surroundings. Always let someone know if I left with friends, who I left with, and everything. I just made sure. I just felt like it was important, you know.
And not no during November 1st, 1955, all the way to April 30th, 1975, the Vietnam War had started, and they drafted everybody, including African Americans. What was your output on African Americans being drafted during segregation?
I was a teenager. I was pretty young. I may have been. My brother was actually drafted into the Vietnam War, and I was young. I may have been somewhere around 11 years old at that particular time. I really didn't think anything of it as far as it being had anything to do with segregation. I just feel like if someone wants to go to the military, it should be their choice. They should be forced to go fight a war.
HIV/AIDS is a virus that spread rapidly through the U.S. during the 80s. At a time that this was a lion on the loose and no one knew what to do, how were you affected by it?
Well, it was devastating. Everybody knew somebody who had it, and there was not one person that you didn't know who had a relative that didn't have AIDS. At that time, it was horrible because, as of today, it still is no cure. But back then, it was devastating because as soon as you found out you had HIV, you died within a matter of weeks and months. I mean, I personally witnessed it in relatives and everybody I know. So yeah, it was traumatizing, and as the years got by, it's manageable now. But at that time, it was very devastating.
It sucked.
It really sucked.
Thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
Shooting at Columbine High School took place where two boys went into their school and killed several of their peers. Being a freshman just months after this incident, how did rules, procedures, and policies change?
It changed a lot. From it changed me dramatically, like crazy, but it was for the best. We had weekend activities, free school dance, a lot more projects. You know, everything to get people involved in the school, like things, activities to go on in the school. It all for the best though, and if anybody had an issue, we brought it to the table, or you come in front of the class and so nobody ever felt left out. But
right.
it was all for the best, and I'm glad for it.
All right. Thank you for your time, sir.
Okay, look, I'm gonna give you some background knowledge about Michael Jackson with the rape allegedly. The first kid who came out and said that he raped him, he came out and said that was a lie. His dad made him do it, so that resurfaced, and the dad killed himself because he was going to jail for trying to get some money out of Michael Jackson. So what you guys think about that? Like during that time?
I feel that a lot of people in our society are very selfish, and they do a lot of different rude things or like evil things for money.
They try to get money.
Matter of fact, Michael Jackson made a song. He made a song about, I forgot the name of the song, but he made a song about that. And like, I think that it's just really messed up that you would lie on somebody's reputation, especially someone that big with that kind of name, and lie on them and say that they raped a child or something like that. You know, that's really wrong.
I agree. Me too. You agree? You have anything to say? So when Michael Jackson died, how did you guys feel? Like, where were you? What was he to you? And how did you guys feel?
Well, Michael Jackson was a big part of the music community. A lot of people got their ideas from him, their dance styles. A lot of people inherited a lot of things from Michael Jackson. So when he died, he was like a really great loss to the hip hop world and to the R&B world.
Pop world.
I said hip hop world.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bill Cosby was brought up to the media when over 30 women accused him of rape. Do you think this case was brought up to destroy his legacy?
Yes, absolutely, yes. I mean, yeah, Bill Cosby has a very big impact on the black community in America as well, known as America's father. Every time he goes up to buy his network, um, they would try to destroy him. There's also the second time this happened. I believe this happened back in 2003, if I'm incorrect. But yes, I believe so. Every time he goes and buy the network, the media destroy him. They'll throw an allegation out there, and once it hit the news, it's over because everybody believes, especially with social media today, words get twisted, and everybody's against you. Even once he go to court and is found not guilty, his legacy still destroyed because it's like it's on your resume and it hurts. So yeah, I believe that is true. That it's just straight allegations. It's a sad case, but it's just the world we live in today.